Hello guys, welcome back to the MySQL video tutorial. So in this video tutorial, we are going to learn about triggers. Okay, so the basic idea of trigger is like it is a SQL similar to the trigger is similar to the SQL statement, and it will available inside the system log. Okay, so in there is a system log in MySQL. Okay, so in that system log, the SQL like these trigger statement will be available. So we can call this trigger as a special type of stored procedures. Okay, like that will these triggers will be invoked automatically when the event occurs in the MySQL. Okay, so even these triggers are like associated with the tables, and even we can also activate triggers in MySQL. Okay, so to activate these triggers we have to use the data manipulations language such as insert statement, update statement, and delete statement. So by using these statements also we can activate the triggers. Okay, so basically we're calling trigger is triggers as a procedures or a special procedure programs, or we can call directly we can call as a store procedures also. So here the main difference between the triggers and procedure is that so in trigger, so it will call automatically when data is modified. Okay, or when data is modified, when the event is made, so that time it will be automatically called. Okay, so whereas in in stored procedures we have to explicitly call the procedure functions. Okay, so difference is this is the main difference. Okay, so generally in triggers we have two types. Okay, first one is we have row level triggers and statement level triggers. So we'll be going to understand in detail about this. Okay, so keep in mind a trigger will be automatically called, but whereas in procedure we have to manually call. So this is the main difference. So now we have two types of triggers. Okay, so first in row level triggers, what happens, it will be activated when each row we are each row by row it will triggering the statement let's say. So let's say if you are activating the trigger. Okay, so if you are activating trigger, so this will be activated row by row, means the statement whatever the insert, update, delete is, these will be happening at row by row, means one after the another. So this is the row level, that's why the name itself indicates row level trigger. Okay, example, if table let's say if you are inserting, updating, and deleting multiple rows, so that time the trigger will be fired automatically, and it will be affected each row by row. Okay, at a time. So means it will not take entire table rows at a time, but it will be row by row, so one after the another. So that's why it is calling as a call as a row level trigger. So next one more is a statement level trigger. So it is we can modify, or it can fire like once all the event, when the event occurs, so that time all the rows are affected. Okay, so it statement level means it will fired once, when event occurs, that time it will be affected. Okay, so this is the difference between two types of triggers. So row level triggers means it will row by row it will affect. Okay, whereas in statement it will entirely, when event occurs, that time it will entirely occurs. Okay, so rows will be inserted or deleted or updated. So for next, we should understand why we need triggers and all. Okay, so the basic the idea of trigger is it will help us to enforce the business rules, and trigger also we can validate data. Even like by using trigger we can validate data before inserting and updating or deleting, and even maintaining the audit trails and all in table. So this is also that kind of for those reasons also it will helping. Okay, even this triggers provides the in a alternate way of integrity, checking the constraint while inserting data into a table. So by using this trigger concept also we can perform. Okay, So like even we can schedule the task by using the trigger, like when we set the trigger event, so that time it will, the task will be completed. So these are the main importance of triggers. Okay, like in this concept or we are using the triggers. See, basically we have types of triggers. Okay, so like before insert trigger is there, after insert, before update, after update, before delete, after delete. So these are the like maximum six types of actions or events we can call in triggers. Okay, these are the events in the trigger. So we can use before insert. So if I am using before insert, so it will be activated before the insertion data, my like before we are inserting data, so the trigger will be occurred or event will be occurred. Okay, so after means after insert means, so this will be in activated after the insertion of the data to the table. Like this, before update, before delete, so we can use these all are the trigger types. Okay, so now like now we will see how to create trigger and all. Okay, so the basic syntax of trigger is like create trigger, trigger name, trigger timer, or we can set just a trigger time, and trigger event on table name for each row, begin, end. So this is the syntax for the triggers. Okay, so now we will show how to create the trigger. Okay, so just to create trigger, the example I'll going to show one example. Okay, so here I'm using the student database. In that, okay, just a minute, so now I will show you how to create a trigger. Okay, so to create trigger we have to use the create table statement. Okay, now I'm creating table student age, and I'm age is int, name is varchar. So now, so we will apply the trigger concept for these tables. Okay, now we can observe the table has been created. So now I will describe this table to see the details of the ESC student age. See, I have two field. Okay, that is name and age. So now in the like now I will be automatically inserting the age. Okay, age to the column. So like by using the trigger also I will be inserting values. Okay, so now I will insert like in age field. So here in age field, so I will insert values. Okay, like whenever user, like whenever end user inserting data into the table, that is in the student age, if they are inserting less than 0 means age, so that time the trigger should it automatically update. Okay, means automatically it will update, automatically insert the values. Okay, so for that first we have to use the delimiter. Okay, so now I will use, first we have to use the delimiter, then after that we have to use the create statement. Okay, so here I will use first delimiter means it is the, so I'm just a minute. So here you can observe here. So now I will clear this my screen to clear screen system CLS. Now I will use a C to use. If I'm using delimiter means, okay. So here I'm create trigger. So statement is the syntax already I have explained. So create trigger, and trigger event means I'm using the before insert. Okay, so before insert student age, and so the syntax to is like create a trigger. So before insert, and this is the before insert student age is the my trigger name. Okay, so here I'm using the before insert. Okay, this is like yeah, I have explained in basic, right? There are 6 types of triggers. So usually I'm using before insert on. So this is the my table name, student age is my table name. Okay, and for each row here I'll start the begins means it will starting. Okay, if new dot age, and here I'm using, just a minute. So here I have to use if name dot age is less than 0 means it should. Okay, I'm sorry, just a minute. The syntax is wrong something. See, if the here if new dot age is less than 0, then I'm setting the new age is equal to 0 means if the user entering the below age means that is if a user entering minus in the age entering in minus form, so it will be automatically before inserting only. So you can before inserting that minus value into the table, so it will avoid that inserting minus value and it will insert the 0 as the age. Okay, so now I'm created see now I have updated. Okay, so if I'm trying to insert the negative value, that is in my age, if I'm inserting my age in minus value, so that will automatically take 0 means it will insert the 0 instead of that minus value, it will insert as a 0 value. Okay, so now I will insert. Okay, here you can observe I'll describe my table, that is student. Okay, PESC, and my table name is student age. Okay, student underscore age. Okay, why it's not coming? So my table name is student age. Okay, describe. Okay, just a minute. I will exit.